Catherine. Welcome to my channel, Read Journal Love, and today I wanted to bring you this next installment about my comic book collection. This is what I'm going to call like Christian comics that I have, and I just wanted to share them and let you know that comic books are out there that have a Christian message, and I feel like they're very educational, especially for children, young adults, adults who do have a more visual learning style. I find them amazing, so I wanted to share them. So I wanted to first start off with manga. I don't know if anybody knows, but there are these manga series that you can get them online. You can get them at Mardell. I think you probably even get it at Barnes & Noble. But it's just like a manga series, but this one's about the Messiah. So those are out there if you're a manga fan. The next little group I want to talk about are my vintage Christian comics. There is a company called The Spire, and it started in the 70s. Al Hartley was the comic artist's name. He drew for Archie Comics, and he became a Christian and decided he wanted to write more Christian comics, so he joined with other people and created Spire Comics. So these are just some of the ones. This is one of my husband's called Alpha and Omega. And then another of my husband's called Time to Run. I haven't read any of these, but they're from the 70s. And then I have In His Steps. I loved this book, and when I saw they had a comic, I had to order it. And this is like 70s version of it, and he's like a traveling hippie, and yeah. But it's the story, and it's really good. I've got The Hiding Place, Corrie ten Boom's. They took the novel and make it into a comic book. And then I had to have Tom Landry of the Dallas Cowboys. And this is just kind of like a biography about Tom Landry and how his faith played a huge role when he was with the Cowboys. And it was so good. Okay, if you grew up in the Christian circles, I'm sure you know who the Power Team is. I went to see them once. They were pretty amazing. Do you remember the Power Team? Remember when they would like cut that piece of wood in half? And so yeah, it's just the comic book, based on their ministry or whatever. So yeah, that was that one. And then my husband, he draws comics, and so this was a friend he had, and they did a comic, Warrior of the Word, and this is the second book of it, and it was just, about angels and demons and stories, and he said he really liked the art. Everybody knows who Marvel is. Well, at a time, they teamed up with Thomas Nelson, who, is a Christian publisher, and they did several different, they called it the Christian Classics series. So they did one of the Screwtape Letters, and I'm going to say this is more like a graphic novel in form, so it would be for our older readers. But it's got, comics on every pages, but it reads more like a graphic novel. Did one of Pilgrim's Progress, which is another Christian classic. And it does read like a comic. I haven't read this one yet. I actually didn't even know my husband had this. I asked him to get out what he thought would fall into this genre. So I think I'll be reading that soon. And then Marvel teamed up with Tom Nelson and did an In His Steps. And this one was really good. This was more like the time and setting of the book than the one that was set in the 70s by Spire. But this one, they're both really good. But this is more like actually reading the book. And it was in comic form. And then they created their own superhero called the Illuminator. And my husband only has number 3. but it's just like a comic. So those are all out there. And then there is a company, I think it's Eternal, is the creator of this comic series, but it's called Archangels. And there's several. This is just a few of them. And like, this is kind of what the art style was. This kind of 90s looking superheroes. So I haven't read any of these, but my husband said he really liked them. That one actually has a lot more. Well, not all of it. Like, it's more like a comic. Then, if you were to go to Mardel's today, or any of your Christian bookstores, you're probably going to see a rack of comics, one of those little circular racks of Kingstone comics. I like them a lot. I have read quite a few of their comics. They have them for the books of the Bible. They have the whole Bible. They have characters of the Bible. They have time frames of the Bible. And so, yes, you can get them. But then there was one I saw online, and I actually got to read that on Hoopla. I haven't ever read a comic on Hoopla, which is like an ebook, and I really enjoyed it. I like that you can kind of like make it bigger, or, you know, but my iPad is pretty much the same size as a comic, and so it was like reading it. So yeah, look to Hoopla or Libby for reading a comic book. That one was really good. It was by Kingstone, and it was about a missionary that actually was on the Titanic, and so that was really interesting. I enjoyed it. But this is one I got for church, and it's about the disciple Peter, and I just love the art in here. I feel like the art in the book is just above. Like, it's just really superior art, I feel like. But that's just me. You know, like, I'm not an expert in any way, but it's like reading it and seeing it. So this is just an example. There are tons from Kingstone Comics. We have a couple of what I'm going to call graphic novels. And, well, my husband said this is really more like a comic book. But I'm going to put a screenshot here of the first one. This one is The Faithful Spy. And it is, my husband says it's a graphic novel, but it looks like a comic book to me. But it is the story of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and it is so good. I recommend it highly. And this is by Broad Street Publishing. They have two. This is Paul, and then there's one on Peter. And it's a story of the apostle, but they're like animals. But it's like reading comic books, but they're just like, and it's kind of like, they're like animals, but the art is really cool, I think. So anyways, these would be some ideas just to kind of let you know that they're out there, and maybe your children or yourself would really enjoy them. I really like reading them. So anyways, I just wanted to share these and let you know that they're out there. I hope everybody's doing well, and yeah, hope y'all all have a wonderful week ahead. Okay, bye.